Ladies and gentlemen, 7 years ago, there was a trillion-plus-dollar company that is there today, but wasn't at that price 7 years ago. This current trillion-dollar company had big plans. They wanted to design a car from scratch. What few people don't know is back in 2014, Apple had something called Project Titan. Project Titan was a way to make their own vehicle from scratch. Today, Apple is targeting car production by 2024 and eyed next level battery production and technology. Tesla clearly sold off on this news while Apple exploded. We're going to talk a little we're going to talk a little more about this. We're going to go in, of course, to the Ask Mark, where we see how real traders in our service have performed today, from the good, the bad, and the ugly. I am Mark Melnick, and this is the Newsbeat Show. Before I continue, please pause on the next slide, read it in its entirety, and then hit play when you are done. Thank you so much for reading this. Okay, so let's just go right into Apple, and I'm going to just show you just some of the benefits of being in our service here and why NewsFlow is, should be, one of the most important things that you could do, in my humble opinion, as a trader. So what happened here was Apple started. This is a 1 minute chart of Apple. You don't need to worry about all my fancy moving averages and whatnot. In fact, if it would make it easier for you to see, I could just literally remove everything here and just show you a 1 minute chart of Apple with just the volume on bottom and how it performed today. So, Apple, the largest currently publicly traded company in the United States of America, and I believe, is it the globe or does China, one of their oil companies, have a larger market cap? I'm not sure, but right over here, Apple in a span of 5 minutes went from 126 and $18 to 127.50, which for Apple is an enormous move. If you even look at Apple in after hours here, if I show the after hours of what Apple is doing here. Apple's at $130.97 as we speak. Just keep in mind that Apple is up $2, almost $2.75 after hours at this exact moment. And the news, of course, going back to it, is that Apple announced that they would be making their own vehicle and going after next level battery technology. Now, of course, many of you, ladies and gentlemen, watching this show, you're going to say, you know what it is, Mark? It was a long time coming. Anytime somebody is doing something good and there's a big piece of the market, another company steps in and tries to go after it. And of course that's true, but this is not the case with Apple. And I know what people are going to make an argument. They're going to say, Apple, they're trying to do this. They might have been working on it for a little while now. And that's why I'm bringing you back to 2014 when they had Project Titan, because anybody who tells you otherwise does not know what they're talking about. This is why I'm trying to help you become more fundamentally informed. And then we're going to show you from the trading perspective how you could join us. I mean, imagine right over here before anything else starts going nuts. Imagine that Apple right over here began to explode. Just imagine that Apple began to explode right over here when you got that heads up that Apple was creating a new battery technology in the Newsbeat live room. Because this is what members have access to here. And this is a 1 minute chart. If you want to see how fast it moved on a 5 minute chart, this is what Apple looked like on a 5 minute chart, except we're calling it out near the bottom end of this range of this big green bar. And we were stupidly early on this one. We got just a really beautiful heads up to people. And, they were obviously able to capitalize on it in a very major fashion. So that's more of the technicals. I could show you the breakout level on the chart for those who, who love the charts and rely, mainly on the charts, Apple's all-time high is 137.98. To me right now, that is the only important level in Apple, 137.98. If I take you over to an hourly chart, still nothing really. Everything basically pales in comparison right now to the all-time high in Apple. And this really sort of justifies the market, in my opinion, of where it is because Apple looks like it could return to being a leader in the market. Now, with all that being said, Apple's going to make batteries, or they're trying to at least. At least they're claiming they're trying to. And they're going to be releasing new cars. What is it going to be called? Is it going to be called the iCar? Could you imagine driving one of those vehicles? Like you're sitting there in an autonomous car, you're driving like this because you're purposely going like this so when people drive by they think you're absolutely insane by not having your hands on the wheel. And you're driving, you're like somebody rides over, drives by you, sees you, shocked that you're driving your car like this autonomously, and they flip you the bird because, they're sitting there having to drive while you're driving completely autonomously. And then you get mad at that person. Why is that person flipping me the bird? And you say, Siri, cut that person off and honk the horn. And it's like, "Doot." Okay, I'll do that. And then Siri, your car just speeds up in front of the person and starts honking. Can you imagine that? How far this is going to go? Obviously, that is a semi joke, I think. I'm not exactly sure how the Apple iCar would work. But people are going to come out tomorrow. I feel analysts are going to start defending Tesla for the wrong reasons. I am going to defend Tesla right now and saying if Apple is investing this much money to actually compete with you, you are barking up the right tree. However, this is where people are going to get Apple wrong. I am still bullish in Tesla. I don't think this news is bearish for Tesla. But just to give you a little bit of straight up context over here, Tesla really started plummeting with volume when this news came out. And here's a 1 minute of Tesla where the news came out. This is where we gave you the heads up today at 3:34 p.m., right before the plummet happened. And that's news before the majority of Wall Street. That is one of the things we pride ourselves on, trying to find the news flow for you guys as fast as humanly possible. With that being said, Tesla plunged. It absolutely plunged on that news. And I'm going to come out and defend Tesla, similar to the way I defended Costco when Costco started plummeting when Amazon bought out Whole Foods. And my argument, if you go back to 2016 and watch some of my videos, my argument was, look, people are still going to be going to Costco. It's food. There's plenty of people who want food. This is bullish for Costco because it just shows you that Costco is barking up the right path. Costco fell to $150 at the time and rallied and practically never looked back. I mean, you look at Costco here today, it's a $365 stock. Granted, the market went up since then. I understand everything of what you're saying. But I will go ahead and I will make an argument right now that this is bullish for Tesla and actually bullish for Apple. Now, you might say, how's it bullish for Tesla having someone compete with them? Because if nobody competed with Tesla here, this would go to be a $10, $20 trillion company. Everybody needs vehicles. They already have a ton of competition. NIO, Candy, a lot of the major automobile manufacturers which are already developing and have electric vehicles. Has anyone ever seen the BMW electric vehicle? It's absolutely gorgeous. It is absolutely the I vehicle. Was it the i8? Is that it? Is that what it is? It's one of the sexiest looking, cars out there. I mean, have you seen like BMW's electric vehicle? It is like stupid beautiful. Like, look at that thing. Look at that thing. I mean, it's gorgeous. I mean, it has the doors that move up, which look very annoying to close. It's obviously beautiful. Okay, so with that being said, Tesla should not be scared, in my opinion, of this news. This is not news that's going to scare Tesla. Tesla already penetrated China. It already penetrated the United States. It's already penetrating Europe. Apple is not exactly early to this game. And Apple is absolutely crazy if they think that they are going to dominate Tesla. I don't think ever for the rest of my life, for as long as I'm alive, Apple will, do however you want to classify a better job in the electric vehicle market than Tesla. So that's number one. It just shows you how valuable Tesla is because imagine this. Imagine this. You make a Coca-Cola, you make the Coca-Cola brand. Everybody loves your Coke. It's this, it's that, it's great, it's great. Then all of a sudden, 20 other people want to make a cola beverage because they see how well it sells. And then you get like store brand cola, RC cola, and even worse, like you could even create like the most disgusting tasting Coca-Cola ever and call it Pepsi. And you could do things like that. And then you'll have this like obnoxiously gross tasting Coke, but they'll still make money. That's not exactly bearish for Coca-Cola. It just shows you what kind of industry they penetrated into that they have competition. So this isn't new for these companies. If you remember with Netflix, how many companies jumped up and started directly competing with Netflix? You have Disney, with Disney Plus, Amazon with Amazon Prime Video, and others, Hulu, Roku, I mean, and on and on and on. Was that really that bearish for Netflix? Was Netflix sitting there saying, oh my God, all our customers are leaving? No, this is a weekly chart of Netflix. Doesn't look like you're doing too bad there. When you have all this competition. So, in my opinion, it was bullish for Netflix because they were barking up the right tree. That doesn't mean it wasn't also bullish for Disney. And here's a weekly of Disney. Doesn't mean it was also not bullish for Disney, who came in and did the same exact thing. So don't interpret this sort of as a zero sum game where something that could go against Tesla will be like negative for Tesla and exactly as bullish for someone else. I'm trying to think of the perfect analogy to sort of describe it. It's almost like somebody. It's hard to describe, but the best way I could say it is there's enough mouths. There's enough mouths. The market share is getting bigger, right? And everyone can get a bigger share of it. And that's pretty much what's happening. I drive a gas guzzler. I mean, I wouldn't call it a gas guzzler. It's a fuel efficient vehicle, but I drive a vehicle that takes gasoline, right? Eventually it seems, as far as I could see, that that's going to be a thing of the past. They're going to stop creating these things, and these gas drinking cars are going to be relics of the past. It's just a matter of when. So you're still going into a large penetrating market that is going to be growing exponentially as time goes by and as technology gets better. But Apple just literally exploded. So let me explain to you what we did as well. So I personally did not take Apple overnight. It's up huge, but look at, I want to show you two names we called out as bullish intraday as a comp play to Apple. And it's names like China Battery or CBAC Energy Technology, used to be called China Battery. And this stock is exploding up beautifully after hours, up 42 cents at the moment on a $5 name. And I personally bought this one, VLDR, option calls in this one. And this thing is up 2 points right now as we speak, VLDR, after hours, because companies like this, I think, are going to stand to benefit from this news. And there's a lot of hype and there's a lot of confusion. And as a Newsbeat Live member, you do get access to this. We're going to go into the Ask Mark here in 1 second. And it comes up very simple. You get all the information here. You see exactly the time. We talk about it in the room. We send it to your T3 app, and we tweet it out. We make sure that as long as you have some form of internet connection around you, whether you're sitting on the toilet or, wherever you may be, that you will have access to this information in a real-time setting. So, and again, I didn't even get a good price on this. I saw it printing like 370 after I bought it. So there are people who got a better price than me on this one, I'm sure. But just want to show you like the value and how we think about things in the room here in the Newsbeat live room. And again, links in the description of this video if you're interested. Let's go right into the Ask Mark. That'll be the last time did I really pitch you there? No, I don't think I really pitched you. But let's take a look at live emails. These are all emails that came in today. Nothing is sugar coated, nothing is vetted. I don't delete emails. I don't whatever. If I start copying and pasting and I see curse words with my names in it, um, then I'll what would I do? I'd probably share it with you guys and then share your information on the internet. Mark, thanks for the discussion for educational purposes last night about the banks. So last night about the banks, we went ahead and we were talking about Goldman Sachs. I titled it in a video Bank Explosion. And just to show you a 5 minute of Goldman Sachs today, I played this one a little bit. And you could just see literally in the first 25 minutes, it went from 248.76 to 258.87. So in the first 25 minutes, Goldman Sachs ran 10 points right off our video yesterday, if you want to know what he's referring to. That's where I made my money today. However, I just wanted to offer myself up as an example of what not to do as a way to assist other newbies. Don't assume that people who need help are newbies, but I appreciate where you're coming from. And to ask your opinion on my mistakes today. I had a good day, but was late to the Mark 1s in Square, Roku, Baidu. And I could think the Mark 1 I tried in Zoom actually, I think the Mark 1 I tried in Zoom actually failed. If you could look at those trades, I'd appreciate it, as it would be very helpful for me to avoid these mistakes in the future. Please see attached spreadsheet. As always, your help is more than appreciated. All right. So we have here, and this is something that just makes no sense to me. I mean, I understand what you're saying. You had a nice day. I could tell you made most of your money in Goldman Sachs. You had, way more wins than losses, even just looking very simply here at your P&Ls. When you're saying like chased or the word late, that doesn't really compute with me because you're pretty much very simply using my front run strategy. So if you're using my front run strategy, there is no being late. You either did it or you didn't do it. So it's really hard for me to determine, exactly what you are going through when you say I'm late to a Mark 1. To me, it doesn't compute. You either did the strategy or you didn't. That would be like, you know, slap me in the face and call me Sally, but your name is Mark. And I'll be like, exactly. I didn't have time to do the name change yet. What should I do? I mean, the answer is very simple. Like, you have to use the front run strategy, and there's no being late unless you tried to front run and it jumped up really hard and then you missed it. And, then it's just like, well, then what can you do? So I don't really have any intelligent answers for you. When you like miss the Mark 1 by a minute, then it's not a Mark 1. Just like I am not Sally. See my point? You can't say you missed the Mark 1 by a minute. So you're telling me you're looking to buy a stock through a certain level. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, did you intentionally chase it after you missed the Mark 1 because you were suffering psychological toxicity? Or did you literally, and I mean, and this is why I can't understand when you say like, I missed something by a minute, because it makes no sense to me. Because was it literally something like this where, you see a Mark 1 and it's like, yeah, I really want to take it. Ugh, I'm trying. Ugh, ugh, I can't get there. I'm gonna get you, you son of a. Mm, mm, mm. And then 60 of these seconds go by. Is that what you're talking about when you say you missed it by a minute? Or were you like, F it, this thing's going to go and I have FOMO and I want to chase it? So I need you sort of to restructure your email so I understand exactly, what was happening over here, my brother. So if you have FOMO, my question is, what else are you doing that's taking away your attention? Are you using Facebook? Are you using a, because I doubt it was the latter, and that's how it sounds like I missed it by a minute. Like, then it's not a Mark 1, you know what I mean? So I would just say, like, my best advice is make sure that you don't have distractions around you. Social media, people around you, physically like children or whatever, and I understand you might be in a weird situation. That's the best I could say. Because then I'm going to ask, well, what were you doing when were you taking a dump? Were you answering your phone? Did you go outside for a cigarette and come back and you weren't there? I mean, as far as I know, I don't know what you're doing. So just make sure you try to have as few as those distractions as humanly possible. That would be my best advice, my brother. What's up, Mark? Since the last time I emailed you, I've been fine-tuning the ideas, basically a play on my Brooklyn accent. I know that work for me, and it's not idea. I have a good idea. Anyone who says that, literally, like, this is why it's idea, because we have to finish what you're doing. Otherwise, you might have one of those things where I was trying to say idea, but I said, it took me 60 seconds and I missed it. That's why I look at my mouth. Idea. You have to like keep your facial muscles spread that entire time instead of just going back from idea, you know? What a stupid word. Since the last time I emailed you, I've been fine tuning the ideas I know that work for me and eliminating the bad habits that I develop. I found that all C strategies work for me, but I prefer doing the 1 minute ones. I keep all the rules with my trade above, below the first candle high, above, below the EMAs on both the 1 and 5, no elevated volume, etc. Good. I finally reached the point where I'd make money more than 7% sometimes by playing it smart and feeling super confident in my ability to trade. The one thing I didn't have down until recently was knowing how to take the losses I wanted to take. Of course, we all want the minimum loss on a failing trade, and it's usually there for us, right? The only reason why any of our losses become big is because of the false hope that a losing position will bounce back. Exactly. And the way the industry counteracts this is they try to tell you what you should lose and what you should make. And that's why 98% of traders fail, because one of the biggest scams in the entire industry is risk one, make two, bat 50-50. That's what every scam artist guru does in the industry today. And they'll smile at you, and they'll flash you their panties, and they'll flash you their P&L, and they'll flash you the airplane. And maybe if you're lucky, you might even get flashed a little leg, which detracts from the ugly face, and you focus on the ugly legs. The only reason why any of our losses become big is because of the false hope that a losing position will bounce back. The difference in the moment of the trade is that we don't have that hindsight to say whether or not the trade is going to move in our favor. This partially was my problem in some of my biggest losing days, but it got to a point where I'd be taking a blowout day more than the average of a single trading day for me, at least once a week. So you're blowing out once a week because you're holding on to losers, hoping that it'll bounce back. And this is why I highlight the point of why I'm so successful is literally my opinion only matters on a stock when I enter a trade. As soon as I enter a trade, my opinion goes out the window. I don't care what you think anymore. And the best analogy I give is the airplane one, where you're thinking or not whether you want to skydive now or not. Maybe you're thinking of doing it, maybe you're not. Your opinion matters. Once you decide to jump off that plane, anything you think is thrown out the window. Should I pull the parachute or not? I don't know, as you're plummeting towards the earth. I don't know what I should know. You're pulling the effing parachute no matter what, right? Same thing in trading is the way I approach it. It works really well for me personally. I'd be having a huge up week, but give almost half of it back just from one day taking a loss. I saw this trend and took a second to think about what I had to do. I asked myself, what the hell are you doing losing even close to a whole point off any contract? Good. Exactly. I came to the conclusion that I didn't have a dignified rule for how I take a loss. Right. And Wall Street's way of risk two, risk one, make two, risk one, make three, risk one, make four is a scam because it fails not the majority, not slightly over 50%, not slightly over 60, not slightly over 70, not slightly over 80, not slightly over 90. For most situations, it fails the trader when you have a large enough sample size 98% of the time, in my experience. I came to the conclusion that I didn't have a dignified rule for I take a loss. I'd usually buy in, look at my contract price, big no-no for me now, then watch whether the price of my contracts explode up or start tanking. This strategy of taking a loss is very detrimental when it comes to entering a trade with a spread in the options, a predicament for my past self, of course, since some trades I'd already be down at most 30 cents at entry. Shout out to Roku for many of the big front run losses. In my opinion, if you don't have a full concrete rule for any given situation, odds are you're inclined to bend your morals whenever you so happen to find yourself there. So finally, having all that sorted in my brain, I thought of ways I can choose a definitive sell stop that minimizes the loss. Very coincidentally, though, the same day you talked about the same exact idea I was trying to come up with. It was the video you explained how to take a front run loss properly. Kind of funny how that works. I often find that the S mark always consists of something every trader needs to hear, new and old. And that is exactly why I do these videos, and that's exactly why I have the highest success rate here in the entire industry. Because I take people's problems and I talk about them instead of taking the two, three traders in my room who are making stupid money more than me and just putting them up on a pedestal and saying, this guy swears by me. Let's have these handful of two, three, four people write testimonials. The truth is, so many of you guys are successful in the room, I can't even fit all your effing testimonials. And you know what? Testimonials that you see from other services here on Wall Street are usually done by traders who are no longer traders because they failed. And they caught them. They either took a very expensive course or a mentorship or a program, and they're like, write in how you feel, or you had a really good day, and they were like, write in a testimonial for how you feel about this one good day, and my email box would the email box would just blow up. If I were to do that, my email box would just blow up. But I'd rather talk about people's problems and successes and try to bring them together. And that is why we are successful, because I'm doing something that nobody ever else has done. And it's not even that it's special, but it didn't take a rocket scientist to figure it out. All you have to be is not that person with the big smoke and mirrors. How many gurus talk about their losses and not focus on their wins almost at all and spend the majority of the time talking about people who are struggling in their own service? Tell me how many you see out there who do that. Because every single room you see around here, I mean, like, take 200 rooms here, are all consisting of 90, some in the 90% failure ratio because they don't re-up. Fact. I know. And this is why I do what I do today too, because I was one of those people. How's that? In my opinion, if you don't have a full, not anymore because I do this shit. If you don't have a full concrete rule for any given situation, odds are you're inclined to bend your morals whenever you so happen to find yourself there. So finally, having all that sorted in my brain, I thought of ways I can choose a definitive sell stop that minimizes the loss. Very coincidentally, though, the same day you talked about it, kind of funny. Da 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 da. Essentially, what I picked up from that video was to always look at your entry on the level 2. Now, whenever I'm in a trade, I check what the ask is at, and I release my mouse. Then I finally check what the bid was. I notice the ask usually follows the bid, so I pay attention to it, especially when you're trying to catch the explosive movement before the stock hesitates. At this point, I'll need to ask you, Mark, whether what I'm doing is efficient for educational purposes, of course, but I mainly focus on the bid. If the stock's bid goes 10 cents below my buy-in, I sell out. To me, I mean, you could do whatever you want. That might be, if it works for you, I encourage it. If it doesn't, I don't. It depends on the stock. You're just bringing up some random BS. How about Tesla? How about Tesla? Sometimes there's a 60, 70 cent spread. As soon as you buy it, the bid could be 30, 40 cents below your buy-in immediately, sometimes 20, right? So how do I say yes, 10 cents is the right thing here? Then maybe you just shouldn't ever buy a stock that has a wide spread or wider spread. Not sure if it's more accurate to look at the S for the movement of the value of the option prices. It is for me. But this is what I do. If it works for you, I encourage it. If it doesn't, I don't. I've incorporated this idea fully today, and I'll say my hit rate was 2 out of 6 or 33.3%, but my combined losses didn't add up to a single one of my wins. So you're doing well. Having this role gives me a better gauge on how much I'll lose on a trade if the situation takes that turn. Honestly, I found that taking losses that are less than 10 cents on a losing position is just as satisfying as taking a 50-cent gain. And I think that's a beautiful line you said here. What a beautiful email overall. But look at that line right there. How beautiful is this line? I mean, I just want to post in the alert window. I feel like I'm going to just tweet this out. Just say it's from a Newsbeat Live member. That's just a beautiful line. I'll repeat it again because it's so nice. Honestly, I found that taking losses that are less than 10 cents on a losing position is just as satisfying as taking a 50-cent gain. It's honestly so crazy for me to think back, not just on how I was trading, but how I would be feeling especially. In the 3 months of me trading, I gave the market more than half of my account in the first week, leaving myself $1,300 to trade with. I then forced myself to acclimate to the proper way of growing a small account and nearly tripled my account value from there. It's only been a little more than 3 months, but I progressed in a way that I now feel ready to take it to the next level. It really shows you that with the correct efforts and initiative to learn, you can make heaps of progress. I have today's decent P&L attached as well. But yeah, thank you, Mark, for sitting here and reading my long expletive email. I thought it was well written, and you're welcome. I appreciate the goodness and positivity that you bring, not just to the room, but to every person you come in contact with. The lessons you teach us outside of trading or that apply to more than just trading are personally long lasting ones that I will remember, and also, of course, teaching all of us how to print money consistently. Now, to end this TED Talk, I appreciate all of you guys in the room, and I'll see you guys in chat on the Newsbeat Live VTF at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard. Try to get here earlier than 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard. Hope you all have a wonderful evening. Sincerely, your trading son. So I do want to highlight one thing that you said here, this line right here. It really shows you, and I'll show your whatever you attached in the email. Shows that with correct efforts and initiative to learn, you can make heaps of progress. And this is one of the things I talk about when traders are failing and nothing is working for them. This is how I turn them around. I literally have a chart. And it's funny that you're using the word correct efforts because that's exactly what it is. And I write it out here, correct efforts and time. And this is different for everyone. Some people, in your case, it could have been a couple, 2, 3 months. And somebody else, it could be 2, 3 years. And somebody else, it could be 2, 3 days. And for everyone, it's different. Hence why I say different for everyone. And right now, if you're a trader whose expectations, which is the green line, is above the results, you're thinking trading is not for me. I can't do this. I'm doing everything I'm told and not achieving the results I want. And then when we put you through what we do, from what I can see, the vast majority of us here, which is such a bold effing thing to say in any trading room, but these gurus out here on Wall Street, let's just be honest, they can't help the majority of you. Most gurus cannot help the majority of you. And I know because I've been doing this 13 years as a guru, 21 years as a trader. I know because I was the person that couldn't help the majority of people around me. Every single guru on Wall Street to this day, from what I can see, do your own due diligence, make your own opinions. cannot help more than 5, 6, 7, 8, 9% of people at best if they're like the best. And I encourage you, if you think I'm just talking smack or I'm talking, you know, fecal matter here, that you literally go ahead and you ask your guru to post a question in the room and leave it up there for a few minutes and let's see who floods in and talks. Are you finding tremendous P&L consistency with my plays? And none of your gurus out here on Wall Street will ever ask this question because it would be an effing embarrassment. And you know what? I was running polls like this for a while, and I was used to getting polls, and I was probably one of the highest, back then. They told me that at least back in 2010 and T3 that I was doing the best at that point. Um, you know, I used to run these polls and I used to get numbers like 22%, 21%. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, how are almost eight, how are 4 out of 5 people unable to do crap with my service? I didn't say, wow, 1 out of 5 are doing great. That probably puts me on top of everyone. Woohoo! Because other people are failing 95, 96, 97, 98. Even that person with the plastic smile and the Ferrari or the view or the woman or the this or the person who magically has an internet connection on top of a mountain who just happened to have his laptop with him because he can trade from anywhere, even on top of a mountain. How did the camera crew follow you there for the shot? And nobody wants to ask this question today. This is what change. You want to know what changes me from everyone on Wall Street? This question. This question. And just so you see the numbers, I have the largest room here in T3, just so we're clear. We're not dealing with 10 people. We're not dealing, I asked 4 people this question and 3 of them said yes and 1 said no. Just so we're clear. And this is how I show you what I can do for you. As opposed to having people around me live a fantasy of what my P&L looks like, which dwarfs P&Ls around me that I see. I actually rather ask you this question. Are you, because it's about you making money, not me. I do it effing well. You need to make money. And if you're in my service and you're not making money, why do you think I'm fighting for you every single day, 7 days a week, putting out this content? Because I never quit. I will never quit for you. As long as I'm here and I'm able to do it, I'm not quitting for you. Your guru in your other service that he already quit on you a long time ago. What is he doing now? What is he doing now? Sitting on the couch watching Friends with his boyfriend? Watching, whatever show. Sometimes you gotta go where everybody knows your name. And he's just sitting there, popping popcorn in his face. You have to fight for the people around you nonstop. I can't be satisfied that, if I make $1 million, $2 million, I can't just sit back and just do nothing because somebody else around me is failing. There are people in my service right now who are struggling. Right now, there are people struggling. What am I doing for them? I could go upstairs, lay on the couch, watch Star Trek Discovery, Al Bundy my hand wedged between my pants like this, and just chill. I could do that right now. My life would be so much easier. Or do you want somebody who's going to fight for you day in and day out relentlessly to get you to where you need to go? So let's go ahead and see your attached P&L. You tripled your account in 3 months. Congratulations. There, your $1,300 account. You made 160 today. Call all Amazon, lost on Lol on Nike and Roku, made in Square, and lost a minor bit in FireEye. 4.5% of your account change. Small $1,300 account. Got to $3,700 in a few months, but more importantly than just your number, way more importantly, you are confident and you feel like you're ready to take this to the next level. So thank you for your beautiful email. Hey Mark, I had a good day today. Ended my day around 10 a.m. like usual, bandit style. Wanted to bring up how I handled my largest loss today, though. It was a square chart reset, 1 minute, know your limit 8. Was in the trade for 6 seconds, had 750 shares and lost 40 cents. All right. So you lost like 300 bucks, right? Um, I got terrible fills on the buy and sell and took a big loss for me. I took the Harry approach and left it off and said, all right, you got me, Square. Came back into the next two trades, made it all back just making the correct decisions and taking the best setups on my charts. Like I said, I ended my day around 10 a.m., up a couple grand, only to come back to scalp some Apple in your overnights. Heard it here first in the Newsbeat live room. LOL. Scalp my overnights. You're hilarious. Thanks for all you do, Mark. I feel like I got my mojo back from my down week. You are welcome. Keep up the good work, my friend. All right. Next email. Whoops. Email didn't copy and paste. Copy. All right. Let's see what else you guys are putting in. Dear Mark, aka Robin Hood as the leader to the bandits. Mark, thank you for calling Amazon strength when the day began. Bad SSE and all trading from Medellin. He's trading from Colombia, if you don't know where Medellin is. With horrible internet speed, you gave me conviction to do a Mark 1 at 9:36:08 and stayed for a long time. He was in Amazon for a full 33 seconds. He held it from 9:36 and 8 seconds to 9:36 and 41 seconds. A lifetime, right? And with 6 calls, that was $1,200. Yes, it went up 3 or 4 times more in the next couple minutes. For me, it was enough of Morzar. Morzar? I think that's a typo. That or that's the reason why I don't go good on my SATs. All right, what is Morzar? Morzar is in Gujarat, India. It's a place in Gujarat, India. And let's see, we could maybe take some photos here. This is more, bro. I feel bad for the people living in Morzar, bro. Check that out. Check that out. Damn. Oh, look at that. What a beautiful, was that a peacock flying? Peacock flying. All right. It was enough of Morzar, and I was finished for the day. You continually to redo your strategies, unlike most guru that make old 15-year-old strategies their own and repackage them with a pseudo sexy name. Yes, we do create our own strategies here. That's why we're successful, because we do what people on Wall Street won't. I've been a little busy and would hate to miss your newest version. Have you redone your SSE strategies lately? I'm going to be redoing all the SSE strategies. There's going to be no dramatic changes. It's not going to be just the tip anymore. We're going full speed ahead until we can't go in anymore. We're turning all the tips into strategies as rules. So all the tips are going to turn into rules. And we're also going to talk about how to keep new ways to keep the hit rate higher. I haven't changed them, but I'm in the process. Thank you for all you do and all your teachings, mentorships, and patience. Love you, Mark. Love you too. Primo. Ask Mark follow up. Dun, 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 dun. Hi, Mark. Thank you again for answering my questions concerning the take profit issue. I don't know what we would do without you. You're very and always welcome. Very and always welcome. You asked what I do best. I have kept statistics and I do the following equally well. One and done, Mark 1, Mark 5, know your limit, 1 minute, all around 60% win rate. I already threw away all the things that don't do well, know your limit 5, all resets. The win rates on these are so poor and don't know why, neither do I. Furthermore, trading after 11 a.m. is a losing proposition, not because of the time, because this is only when resets and know your limit 5 minutes are triggering. Sure. I hope this provides more color to my situation, as I still don't know how to exit with profit to give myself profitability in the long run. A perfect example of this is my Baidu Mark 1 reset trade that you also took. See attached from the exact fills. The time is in Central Time. The trade worked perfectly, and my profit was very small. My losses are typically around $50 to $100. Some people say that it just requires a lot of experience and feel. The experience won't help me, as I've been trading since 2006. Before I continue reading your email, that's not true. You're either doing the right thing over a certain amount of time or you're not. If you're doing wrong efforts over time, you're not going to get to where you need to go, even if you've been trading for 1,000 years. Hence why the correct efforts over time. If you're doing the wrong efforts over time, that's not experience. If you're taking the nonsensical, scammy, psychologically devoid strategy of taking a 2-to-1, 3-to-1, 4-to-1 risk reward while trying to bet 50%. I don't care if you've been doing that for 100 years. It's not going to help you because you have to do the correct efforts over time, just so we're clear. So I disagree with you on the experience point right there for that reason. The experience won't help me as I've been training since 2006 and failed every year. Feel doesn't help me because my feelings don't operate like a normal human. I still have hope because you have a heart that is large and soft and you care for us. This is why I will not give up on this journey, and that's why I will not give up on you. If you don't give up, I'm not giving up. I refuse to respond emotionally to the fact that I'm not profitable. My only goal is to respond and make adjustments intelligently, similar to our trading goal, which is just trade intelligently. This means patiently going through the steps with you, as I know you won't give up on us. Damn right I won't. So, this is, I'm assuming, a trade I took today. You bought at 6:10, you sold at 6:15. You bought at 9. All right, so it's Central Time. So you bought at Eastern would be 10:02:17, and you sold it 24 seconds later. Let's see what Baidu was doing at 10:07 today. All right, so pull down here. Just so we're clear, this is a chart reset Mark 1. You just said you didn't like the chart reset strategies. Just pointing it out. It sort of came up and came down. I remember this trade. It was a little bit difficult. I'm curious to know, because I can't see a second chart here. In the future, I want to know what the ask was when you bought these calls. Where was the ask trading at? Not only that, you're not using Street Smart Edge. Why? Why won't you use, and you might have a good reason, why won't you use the platform if you're trying to figure out, if you're trying to do everything? Because you're not doing everything. If you are, look, you can use any platform you want. The people here are successful with every platform. You're not there yet. That's when I start looking and saying, what can we do to help? Obviously, I don't, how does one fix that which is not broken? But something is broken here, which I'm trying to fix. So just remember these three things I talk about in my before your results start blowing up past your expectations. You're not at the point where you're saying trading is not for me, because even though you've been losing since 2006, 14 years, you're still not giving up because you feel something in this business. Granted, you weren't with me for that long, but fine. You're also not saying I can't do this. You're just saying I'm not doing this currently. So, ironically, someone in your position would have been going through steps 1 and 2 like nonstop. You're not even there because you're like, I know I could do this. You're not giving up on any of us, but I'm not there yet. But then, of course, comes the very interesting part is number 3. I'm doing everything I'm told and not achieving the results I want. At this point, I can't tell you legally what to do. There are people who I'm sure use this platform, whatever platform this is, and make money. My point is, you're not. Have you ever thought it's time to put down that disgusting soda called Pepsi and try Coca-Cola for once? But it's the same thing. It's both soda with the caramel and the caramel coloring and the sugar and the bubbly water. Yeah, but Pepsi is not Coke. The difference is one sucks and one's delicious. Isn't that crazy? I just come in and I start ripping on Pepsi. I'm sure some of you are watching now like, I like Pepsi more than Coke. It's a matter of taste and opinion. I think Coke sucks. I like Pepsi. Look, you can drink you want to drink Pepsi and do well, but if you're drinking Pepsi and you're walking around and you're farting all over the place and people cannot go within one step of you because you're a human fumigator, maybe it's time to try Coca-Cola. That is my only question. I'm not telling you to do it. I'm not telling you to switch platforms. I'm not saying that you have to. I'm just saying this crap, and you're showing me a profitable trade. I get it. You're showing me a trade you made 30 bucks on. I get it. But maybe, maybe, just maybe, it's time to take a different platform. And I just want you to consider that. And thank you for the beautiful email. And you guys will notice I do spend a lot more time. I do spend a lot more time with people who are struggling. Hence why those emails tend to last longer. Hello, Mark. I had one of my best trading days today. I'm deleting it. It is a crime in the state of New Jersey to delete a booth mail without reading it in its entirety. Punishable by up to, I don't know, by having like a zero rotation for life. I chilled out in the morning without trying to go Rambo and tiered accordingly. I got humbled on Friday. I think without the lessons I learned on Friday, I would not have been able to have such a good day today. Exactly. That's you always have to learn, right? And I talk about that all the time. By just simply doing the smart thing, I realize if you do something wrong and get away with it, especially if you make dollars, you're more prone to repeating it. This is what I say always. So the people who buy scammy princesses show your leg 2-to-1 risk reward Fibonacci level in your favor. People who do that stuff, you buy something, it drops right away, and you're like, I'm going to double down. If you make money on that trade, you're trading on borrowed money because your brain is going to tell you to do it again in the future. You're going to double down, it's going to fall. You might double even down again or again, and before you know it, it's like, I'm having good days. I'm making 300 here, 400 here, 300 here, 500 here. But then I lost 5,800 the other day doing that. That's why I tell you, that's why I keep trying to get you guys in the right mentality. That's why when I see like I'll give you guys an example today. I'll show you real technical analysis. Not the stuff that scammy princesses legs are flashing you. But look at this. So in the spiders, we're all the way down here today. What did I say? I said we could be bottoming here in the spiders, or we could drop, but it's an inflection point. It's an inflection point. And then somebody in the room, it was you, Boogie, like, yo, Mark, amazing bottom call right down there on your trend line of the spiders. And by the way, this is how you're supposed to draw trend lines. Anyway, don't want to even go into that discussion. The spiders just went sideways after I called the bottom right here, and then just rallied up and never looked back. For me, that's not a trade I would ever do in a million years. I don't need to be the person trying to counter trend. For some people, it works well. Great. I find that counter trending is the easiest way to psychological disaster. And maybe I should just say it like that, like I haven't in the past 20 years. 21 years. Yeah, no, what, 13 years. Taking counter trend strategies are have an extremely high psychologically toxic risk. That's why when gurus talk about, climaxing with their boyfriends and girlfriends, you know, you could psychologically devastate your entire career. That's why I'm not going to sugarcoat anything here. I don't care what form of technical analysis you use, but if you see a chart like this, and like this, and like this, and you see all these green bars, and you see the volume elevating on bottom, which I won't even draw, and in your head, you're like, I should short like right here, for example, and put in a stop right there, because maybe the stock will drop down here, and I have a chance to make like money over here or maybe even over here and maybe the stock will drop to that level and I'm risking this much to make this much. People who do that are going to be the people who one day they're going to go ahead and they're going to short on this bottom red line here. It's going to shoot up in your face and you're going to double down and you're going to start praying that actually does have the counter trend directional move, because you're not going to get in your stop in time, or even if you do and you get stopped out, you're going to want to tag it again because you're going to think it owes you money. Does this sound familiar to anybody? Sounds familiar to me because I used to do this nonsensical garbage for years. And this is how you destroy a community of traders: by gurus who have no clue what psychology is when it comes to helping others. Gurus who have the ability to maybe help themselves and have almost rounded off to the nearest whole number, zero chance of helping a community of traders around them. This is exactly why I say, if you get reward, like let's say you make money on this trade, you feel a little good, like, oh, the stock was running up and I shorted it and I covered my position down here. Let me flash some leg. Like, if that's the way you think, you are going to get destroyed psychologically. You are going to get destroyed psychologically. Traders say psychology is the number one factor in trading. Almost every single trader, if you ask them what percent of trading is psychology, they'll be like, oh, 70, 80, 90, 95%. Some will say 100%. It's to me, it's in the mid 90s. So he's saying here, I realize if you do something wrong and get away with it, especially if you make money, you are more prone to repeating it and eventually doing something you'll regret. And that's my teachings. Of course, that's true. I think it finally sunk in. I noticed regret leads to toxicity and tilting. Today, I only got toxic once on a quasi blink Mark 1. I really appreciate the news flow today. What is even more impressive is interpretation of news flow for blink. Algos can get in on easy, straightforward news before us, but they do not have the cognitive capabilities of a Melnick to interpret flow and build bridges to ideas. Good broadcast today. Really a successful and fun trading day is what I live for, and it's such a blessing to be able to print paper consistently. I love being a day trader. Thank you, Mark. Beautiful email. Thanks a lot. Um, and I love your look at that. It's a cute day. You're having a really cute day. You see that P&L there? You see that 6,300 and change? That P&L, like when that P&L, like you walk by it and it just goes like this. Just like that. That's what that P&L does. Like here, it just blushes when it sees you. Nice day. Let's move on. Let's see. Next email. Hey, Mark. Hey, kept it low, medium share size today, but I stayed disciplined and kept my losses tight. P&L came into just under $9,770, but I'm happy with the day given how little conviction I had in the market today. I'm loving the news flow. It helps pad my P&L every day by $1,000 to $2,000 a day. Thank you for analyzing the news with such clarity on the fly. Much love and respect. Let's see. So, all right. So Blink was a news flow name. Um, Apple was a news flow name. So, and then these are the ones you took hits on. Uh-huh. Well played. Great day. Thank you for sharing. I try my best to always interpret the news flow for you. This is why we're the Newsbeat Live Room. Um, we do, obviously technical analysis and a lot of other things as well. But whoops, somebody said an ask Mark. It wasn't an ask Mark question. Said not to read it, so I won't. Next email. So yeah, I feel the same way as you today. That's why I sit at my computer for hours sometimes and I just don't see anything. And everybody's always communicating. I'm talking too, but like Sometimes for 2, 3 hours I won't see something, then I'll see Apple news and I'll just nail it for us like it owes us something. That's what I got to do. That's how I save people. You know how many people today came out in the room were like, Mark, you turned my red day green. Mark, you turned my red day green. Got to keep fighting. Hey, Mark, today at 3:45 p.m. was a little earlier. Oh, the Mark 1. I called Apple earlier, but the Mark 1 and Apple, right? So today at 3:45 p.m. you called out a potential Apple Mark 1. I have a trend line drawn from 11.9 to 12.9 on the daily in Apple. When you called out the trade, I noticed that the trend line right above when it got translated to the 1 and 5 minute chart. My question is, should I care about the trend lines when looking at setups? Yes. Do they have affect conviction? Yes. Should I ignore delete this line since it was tested once already? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. That's a very hypothetical and situational question. Later in the day, you're more likely to break that trend line in either the first hour and a half or the last hour. In English, 9:30 to 11 a.m. 3 o'clock p.m. to 4 p.m., you're more likely to break trend lines. I don't know, many people might not know that. That is an accurate generalization. Unrelated question. Is the Apple trend line from the top of 12.9 to the bottom of 12.15 valid? When connecting a gap, how does this change the conviction of the line if it's valid? 12.9 to 12.15 on Apple. Let's see what you drew. 12.9. 12.9 to the bottom of 12.15 is indeed a complex and very valid trend line. This is a very valid trend line. You drew it completely correctly. Does it change conviction? Well, it's a descending line. So I wouldn't say that it changes conviction. It still depends on the slope and the angle and the type of line you drew. So simply, I would say no, it doesn't change conviction. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thanks for the reply to my email and all the time you take for us. I was wondering if you have a tracking sheet of the P&L for your overnights for educational purposes and when you'll discuss your 2021 stock picks. Thanks again. Um, tracking sheet, I haven't because my numbers are going to be a lot larger than other people, and I'm not here to be that scumbag who, tries to flash you a P&L. And when it comes to overnights, I'm not going to be that scumbag who drops 10 names on your face and says, take them and manage them all and wonders why you're psychologically toxic the next day. Because you came in with 10 positions and you had a down day because the market kept moving. And then it's your fault because you weren't able to handle it. So I'm not going to be that, you know, person either. I don't have a tracking sheet, but a lot of people who track my overnight say it's the best they've ever seen. We offer it to you for free here, as you already know. When am I going to discuss my 2021 stock picks? I don't know. My 2021 pick was really, for myself personally, with disclaimers and everything, was the card game Flesh and Blood. How are you guys doing in that? How do you guys like your position in that? So just keep that in mind. That is that is definitely something I feel that is important to watch. Okay. All right. All right. All right. Here we go. Somebody writing an email. Hey Mark, hope all is well with you and your family. Thanks. My name is Ben. Okay. I was in your room earlier in the year and was unable to keep up with payments. I'm sorry. I never truly embraced your strategies regardless of the success and strength of them. Sorry for that too. I had a toxic mindset and was unwilling to change. Very sorry for that too. Now, a few months later, I've rediscovered my intentions behind trading and I'm ready to get back into the swing of it. Thanks to you and your family's free Newsbeat live videos on YouTube, I've been able to keep up with the happenings of the team. I just recently had enough money to buy your Algo Buster course, and I've been getting the hang of it. If you can spare the time, I'd appreciate your opinion on these lines I drew on the spiders. It's attached to the email. I know you said no 45-degree angles, but I was a bit confused because they seem a bit hard to avoid, given certain trends in the chart. A little elaboration would be appreciated. Thank you. P.S. I'm saving some more money and will be looking forward to joining the room again. Thank you for all you do, Mark. You have truly given me and my family a hope for a prosperous life I'm not sure we would have had otherwise. Thank you. Very strong words. I really appreciate you saying that. It means a lot to me. All right, so you're drawing a line here that looks like 45 degrees. It's a daily of the spiders going down from March. So let's go ahead and pull up my spiders and show you what's the difference here. So what you did was you pretty much took this line here and you connected it all the way here. And that is a very sharp line. It is 100% legit. Now, I'm not saying don't draw 45-degree lines in terms of the fact that they're invalid. I'm saying don't do them until you're at least a little more of an expert level understanding. I'm not sure what was said in my algo video. I did that course quite a while ago, but I will tell you right now, even on this 45-degree angle, like even on this 45-degree angle here, I will say that it's drawn very correctly. I'm just saying this. If this line breaks here, there's a good chance you flush down. If this line over here breaks, this top ascending resistance line you drew, it's more likely to hold. See the difference? You drew all these lines correctly. So like even this line over here is even sharper. Yeah, you drew a rising wedge. I get it, but my point would be like you could draw maybe something over here that attaches over here. Like that would be smaller with a smaller time range. Or when I start talking about more complex trend lines, you could draw them differently as well. But everything you did here is completely legit. I'm going to reply to this email and tell you to watch the video where I graciously answered your question. Hold on. Let me just pull out the video and link you to it because I'm not sure if you're in the room now and you said you're going to join again. So I just want to make sure that you do have an opportunity to read it. All right. And let's go ahead and do this. I'm going to go ahead and reply. Just telling you to watch after an hour and all right. There we go. Email answered. Hi, Mark. Someone posted their setup in Fidelity Active Trader Pro. I thought it was in the room drive, but it's not. I thought it is. Believe it was a screenshot of their screen with the tools they use. Could you please post it in the drive or send to me? I would not know where to find it now. Also, please encourage others to continue posting the results of their trades. It's so encouraging. I don't understand how someone could develop FOMO over someone posting their results. The only person who can really, this is true, but there is one person who can hurt you by showing you the results, and that's me. And that is me. And a lot of other scumbag gurus in the industry, they don't care about the psychological damage and negative implications they have on the traders around them. So they smile in your face and they show you a P&L in which most of the room members helped created, considering they focus on smaller cap companies and small names all the time. Again, like I said, I get it here and there. I'll talk about a small name. I understand it, but this is literally like 70, 80, 90% of what they do, and people still gobble up this bullshit every day. Excuse my language. So just be careful. Um, it shows what is possible being a member of the room. Exactly. Because I'm showing you what's possible being a member here. Not my P&L, other people's P&Ls. That's the important part. That's what other gurus fail to realize. They just try to show you what they do. Somebody could share their Fidelity Active Pro in the room again. I thought I put it in the drive. I'll have to look for that, but I don't have it on my computer to just send to you. Hi, Mark. Here's a continuation from Friday. Again, didn't find any real one and done setups. I then missed the Zoom trades because I couldn't bring myself to play a $9 call on Zoom with an $1,130 account. I get it. And the spread in the cheaper calls was just impossible. I get it. Once the best trades were done, I was aware that there was a big risk and that I would now choose a loser. This is horrible psychological toxicity because without even doing a trade, you're aware, you're saying there was a big risk and I would now choose a loser. Horrible way to think. Sure enough, I took a front run loss in Roku chart reset Mark 1 because it didn't go anywhere at first. Technically, it was still in play. I just lost my appetite and didn't want to lose more in it. After that, I took a small win in Square Mark 5. My entry and exit were not entirely bad. I just was a bit too greedy and a bit too slow. I tried to sell the 240 call with a limit offer at 559. It hit 559 but didn't go through. All right, just so we're clear, you might have screwed up on your system. How many people here can tell me what's wrong with this? How many people can tell me what's wrong, what's incorrect about this statement? I tried to sell the 240 call with a limit offer at 559. Exactly, Mark. You can't sell with that price. You have to go 10-cent intervals or 5. Correct. You can't sell at 559. So I'm not even sure if your system would even go through because you're saying it hit 559 and it's like, no, it didn't. It could have printed 559 magically, but you couldn't post an offer there as a human. You can't. It's illegal. If it lets you put it through, it's putting it through at 555 or 560. You can't put an offer there. It will let it go through, but you're not going to see it on the level 2. You're telling me you see it on the, like, you see your order come through, like if you post the best offer at 559. Am I missing something here? What am I missing? All right. I've never heard of this in my life. I've never heard of it in my life. I've never heard of that. Historically, stock option premiums were generally quoted in fixed increments of a nickel or a dime, depending on the amount of premium. Stock options currently are priced in increments of a nickel for options priced less than $3 to a point. No, less than $3 you could go by pennies. I get that. But if you're more than $3, it has to be nickels or dimes. It's a CBOE rule, right? Certain names will let you do 5 or 10 certain names with 1 cent. I don't like I don't li- I don't like you doing this. I think you should try the 10-cent increment things. I think you should try the 10. I could guarantee you can't do it in Square, which you're saying you did it in. You can't put up an offer at 559 in Square. All right. Please stop. I can't tell you not to put in an offer at a certain price. Just sounds weird to me. Personally, I would do it in 10-cent increments because how do you say 550? But he's saying it hit 559 but didn't go through. But if it was invisible, how did it hit? Did it print in the print box, but you saw an offer at 560? All right. I'm going to move on because I'm lost. I marketed it out when I saw a bid at 545, but the robots in the room sold it off and I got filled at 536 and didn't even get back to break even. It seems that the best explanation for my bad hit rate is that I just somehow end up missing winning trades and taking losing trades, the reason of which is obscure. What are your thoughts? Thank you. Um, hmm. I don't really have a smart thing to say because I cannot wrap my head around your trade where you sold around 559. I'll just freely admit I have no idea what that even means. Like I know what it means. I put an offer at 559. Yeah, but I thought there was a rule where you couldn't. So I'm not sure if it was actually there and nobody could see it. If it was there and you could see it, whether it printed 559, even if you were at 559, but it didn't put an offer at 559, even though it went through as a limit offer at 559, because you're Canadian or Finnish or one of the two. I'm confused. I'm lost. I don't have a smart answer for your email because you're saying you're doing something that I didn't know was possible. With that being said, I can't. All right, so I'm gonna just let's pretend that you just said 560. So you tried to sell, you couldn't. You passed on the Zoom trades because you couldn't play a $9 call with an 1130 account, and the spread and the cheaper calls were impossible. You you lost on Square. Hold on. You lost on Square. I don't even know how am I supposed to offer that you're basically saying it seems that the best explanation for my bad hit rate is that I just somehow end up missing winning trades and taking losing trades. I'm not even sure how to begin answering that. So let's say you're right or you're going to be right or wrong. If you're right, are you only avoiding certain trades because the options are expensive on a Monday? So is Monday going to be harder for you, for example? And like Thursday and Friday would be easier for you? Or is that not the case and you're trying to justify the trades in a way in which isn't working for you? But when you limit out, I didn't even know you could limit out here. So I'm sitting here thinking like, where did you enter? You don't even share me where you entered, so I can't even say, well, what if you went a little higher or lower, which I can't tell you what to do. So even with the information I have, I just don't even know how to go about helping you because you're just saying the best explanation is that I have a bad hit rate because, I'm missing the winning trades and I'm only catching the losing ones, which is a common feeling and it's a legitimate feeling. I can't wrap my head around. Could you share with me your entries and strategies? I mean, you said you took a small win in Square Mark 5. I tried to sell the 240 call. All right, so after that, all right. So after your losing trade, you took a small win in a Square Mark 5. Then you say, my entry and exit were not entirely bad. I just was a bit too greedy and a bit too slow. I mean, can you like I tried to sell the 240 call. So you're talking about your winning square, right? So you're talking about your winning square because 240, I mean, you're playing with the 240 call. All right, so that would be square. But you're saying I tried to sell the 240 call with a limit offer of 559, which I didn't know was possible. It hit 559. You're saying it printed there, but didn't go through. I marketed out when I saw a bid at 545, but the robots in the room sold it off. The room is not moving square, my brother, as much as I love you. And how about the stock went down? And I got filled at 536, so and didn't even get back to break even. So how do you win with a square Mark 5 and lose 9 cents and offer 559? Now I'm sure there's a reason for all this, but I'm just keeping it real, brother. I don't understand. How do you win when you lose 9 cents? How do you win when you lose 9 cents? How do you offer 559? Those are the two questions I want to know. Because you said you took a small win in Square Mark 5. Was there another Square Mark 5? Because it seems like you were just explaining that. You're like, technically it was still in play. I just lost my appetite and didn't want to lose more in it. Period. Next. After that, I took a small win in Square Mark 5. My entry and exit were not entirely bad. So read the attachment. Okay. One moment. Okay. All right. So, oh, you got filled at 513 and you sold at 536. I get it now. I'm sorry, my brother. I when you say it and didn't even get back to break even, you were already combining your loss from the first trade and that trade. Now it makes more sense. Okay. So you did a Mark 5 at 955.59 in square. Right over here, and you would took fine 240. I get it. I'm assuming you front ran before. Can I ask you a question? Did you buy it before the offer? Was the offer underneath $240 or above $240 when you marketed in on the Mark 5? The trigger was 240.17. Was the offer below or above 240? The offer, not the bid, the offer, the ask was at 239.92. Is that correct? I'm confused. It can't flash 240 if it's 239.92. There's a huge difference. So wait, you you bought 239.92. What you marketed in square calls when it was 239.92. It flashed through 240 and then dropped, correct? Okay. And that's another good point. The ask was there, not the print, correct, Pavo? Well, can all right. Okay. I don't think that's a bad trade overall. I don't think that's a bad trade. I'm a little skeptical about your offer at 559. I didn't know that was possible unless you market it in, but I didn't know you could post stuff there. And you lost $10.36 on the day. Okay, I get it. You know, I mean, you took two trades, you won one, you lost one. I'm a little, let's see, I guess you bought 953.09, and I'm focusing on this because I care. So just 953.09. I see what you did. I see what you did. I know your answer. I figured it out. After months of looking at your problems, you ready for this one, Pavo? Tell me you're ready, bro, because I'm about to say it and you're going to love me. I mean, you already love me, but you're going to start making my wife feel uncomfortable. You ready? Okay. What you're the trades you lose on, actually, the majority of them have one digestive candle for what you're looking at. The trades you win on have more than one digestive candle for what you're doing. Now watch this. Watch what I mean. I'm going to give an example, and this might be for many of you here, so check this out. He's doing a Mark 5 in square. One digestive candle right here, right? One candle that doesn't break the prior level right over here. Two candles that don't break the prior level. And again, I can't tell you what to do. I'm not legally telling you what to do. I'm just telling you what I've seen over the months with you. And I'm glad I stopped on this email. Two digestive candles, you're good. Even though the trade sucked and failed, you still came out ahead and made money. Take Roku, and I've noticed this before. I'm saying it's not a one-time thing. Roku, you did a Mark 1 at, excuse me, just going to the 1 minute chart. I believe it was 953. Chart reset right here. One digestive candle. You needed two. Crappy breakout. What do you think of that? Mark is saying my best trades have more than one candle. Totally agree. This is for a lot of people. It's huge. I agree. My best trades are like that as well. But I'm having so many winning trades because I'm able to do so many trades. He's not going to be able to have a million trades with his account size. So he has to really just clamor down, and he's saying he's just picking the losers and missing the winners. You're saying Roku was 955.59 though. What's your point? Right, 955.59. What's your point? No, I'm serious. Like, what's your point? My point was, no, wait. You're saying Roku was 955.59? No, Roku was 953.09, according to you. Let me show you. Here, cutting your email and pasting it. Check this out. This is what you sent me. Roku. No, that's all right. That's all right, brother. The timing isn't even relevant. It's the fact that you have two or more digestive candles that. So if one candle sets you up, maybe I would personally pass on that. If two candles set you up where they digest, maybe that's the one I want to go for. If you do decide to try that, I can't legally tell you to. I would like to see your results every single day this week. Do not have a single day where you don't write me an email, win or lose. Okay? Now I feel a lot better about that email. I couldn't wrap my head around it before. Alas, I have not gotten to every single email that I needed to attend to. That will have to be moved on towards a different date. So, with that being said, I ultimately hope you guys enjoyed this Ask Mark as well as this amazing Apple news flow. Again, we try to bring so much value here. That's why we're the most consistent room here at T3. That's why we're the largest room here at T3. That's why traders are more likely to find success in our service over every other service here at T3. And I'm not saying that because I love everybody around me. I'm saying that because I can take the Pepsi challenge and I will be the only one who says that factually. So just keep that in mind. We are not only T3s, we're Wall Street's #1 consistency room because we highlight and we take care of the traders who are struggling. That's why we do well. So I hope you guys do enjoy this. Links in the description if you're interested in anything we do. Happy trading, make money. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning on the Newsbeat live trading broadcast. Have a wonderful evening.